Hi guys, welcome to the Arrow After Show here at thestream.tv. As you can see, we have a bit of the giggles at the moment because Carolina just said something massively hilarious. Our camera guy said, right, header, and then Carolina goes, who's Heather?
That's what I heard.
So that's what we have for Carolina. Carolina, just, okay. Right, we are back with Arrow. I'm gonna get all of the giggles out of me before we jump into this episode because, God, wasn't it emotionally heart-wrenching watching Stephen Amell play Oliver Queen today? Guys,
yes.
Of course, let's say hello first. Over here, we're gonna start off with Rory because unfortunately Adam, as you know, Adam isn't with us today. Adam is still in Hawaii.
Come
No,
on.
he's
Adam.
on a plane coming back right now.
Oh, good.
Oh, wow.
So he's no
finally.
longer in Hawaii, so we
Yeah.
no longer need to be jealous of Adam. So Adam is in the air. Good luck to you, Adam, and the family. Hope you've had a great time. Can't wait to have you
See
back
you
on the
soon.
couch with us. Of course, we've got the lovely, as always, say what's up, my love,
Hello, guys.
Olivia.
Hi, guys. How are you?
We're the hat crew today.
We are.
Isn't
Twinsies.
it? Twinsies. Boom. I will give a quick shout out. My hat, Mr. David Rappaport. I was fortunate to have breakfast with him, who's the casting director of Arrow, and David was nice enough to give me this hat. So the casting director of Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, DC Legends of Tomorrow.
All of those things.
Such a nice guy. David, such a lovely guy. Thank you very much. Right, guys. My overview of this episode is that love is dead because Cupid said it about 12 times. And again, it just kind of makes you feel like, damn, is love really dead in the world? You know what I'm saying? But let's talk about Cupid. Let's talk about, excuse me if I butcher the name, but Amy Gumenik. Amy, let's have a look at her there as well. For starters,
Yeah.
she's stunning. Look,
She
we're just
is.
going to throw
Hey,
that
Amy.
one out there
I
right
like
now.
the red.
I like
I'm
the
a
red
big fan
too.
of gingers.
You're a big fan of, I would.
I am. I love gingers.
Would you call that redheaded than a ginger?
That's more redheaded, I
I mean,
think.
Yeah.
yeah, it's more redheaded, but it's in the ginger family.
It's in the ginger
It is in
family.
the ginger
Right.
family.
Start of all, how do we feel about Amy as Cupid, Olivia?
I thought she was great. I mean, I didn't know if she was gonna come, like in what aspect she was gonna come back on the show.
cool.
And I still don't remember how they said that I don't know if she was released or what happened with that.
We were having that issue, weren't
Yeah.
we? We were sat backstage and we were like, so how did she get out of Argus? Because none of us managed to actually pinpoint or put our finger on it. So if you guys
Right.
know, feel free to let us know.
Well, I
But-
said that I thought I heard them say at the beginning that Argus was letting people out on like good behavior.
Is that how Argus works? Because
Right.
I'm
I
pretty
don't think
sure
so,
Argus
but-
have the baddest of the baddest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they have, like, I'm not going to make any correlations to anybody in the real world, but they have the baddest
They
of the
do.
baddest.
Right.
So do you get good behavior at Argus?
You
It's like
shouldn't.
Iron Heights.
Right.
If I'm correct, you don't get let out on good behavior in
Yeah.
Iron Heights either. Well, at least the serious villains that we have in
yeah.
there
I just
now.
feel like they wouldn't make that mistake. I mean, clearly they let her out and she immediately went on and killing a bunch of people. Like, I feel like Argus would know better than to do that. But
And
I mean,
she's
I don't know.
definitely a sociopath,
Yeah.
isn't she? Or
Oh,
a
for sure.
psychopath.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
Right,
she's
yeah.
crazy. She's different level.
Yeah.
But her motives, I feel like definitely Cupid was brought back for this episode so that we could follow, well, Felicity and I keep wanting to call him Stephen, and Oliver's relationship. Because
Yeah.
without Cupid, they really wouldn't have been able to do all this with the wedding scene. Because obviously we got teased that just before the mid-season break. Was it by Mark? Was Mark Guggenheim?
Guggenheim.
Yeah.
Mark Guggenheim, one of the producers, obviously tweeted that photo. But how did you feel about her motives? Because I'm not going to lie, whoever's idea it was, whether it was Amy herself as an actor's choice or the set design or whatever, but the way she put her first villains, was it Blaine and Shannon? Blannon?
Blannon.
Shout outs to Speedy, by the way, real quick,
Yeah.
who was relating with all the millennials that are watching
I
this
know.
show. The fact that they did that, like the fact they actually created their own shipping name on the show because they know that we do it constantly.
Yeah.
And then on the news at the end, we actually saw Olicity as
Olicity,
well.
yeah.
I was like, props to you guys over at Arrow. But yes, what was you saying about Speedy real quick? And what was I just talking about?
You were
Catch me
talking
back
about
on.
Speedy and knowing all the names of
Speedy
the
and knowing all the
millennials.
names. No, what I was talking about was the way the way Cupid left her first
Oh, victims in the heart,
in
yeah.
the love heart. How did we feel about that? How did we feel about that?
I mean, that was intense. Like, why are you so crazy, Amy? Or
Why
I
are
guess
you so
Cupid.
crazy?
Like, get it together. I mean, I get it. I mean, love, it's a crazy, crazy thing.
And that really broke her, didn't it?
Yeah.
So obviously she was originally in love with who?
Arrow.
Yeah.
And is this what love does to people? Because if so, I'm not excited about falling in love. I don't know about you guys. Any of you guys lovers? Any of you guys had a heartbroke?
Yeah.
It's pretty much the worst.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
are heartbroken.
I've had a
For
few. I mean,
sure.
most of the time the guys are the ones who are doing the heartbreak, but I've gotten my heart broken a few times. So
Oh,
I
really?
could feel it. Like, it was like, okay.
So you can relate to Cupid. You
I
would go on a
can.
killing spree with your bow
Well,
and
you know,
arrow
I don't know if I
and
go
start
killing
tearing up
spree.
ice and
I
everything.
maybe Call of Duty or something. but that's
Duty.
Call of
Got it.
Duty.
It would
That's
be, it
God.
would be his duty to go
Even
do
more,
it.
it's
even more violent Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I was in a situation where I was like, it was like a mutual heartbreak, so it was really sad for both of us. Just wrong place, wrong time, and
Didn't
it's
give you the
hard.
urge to pick up a bow and arrow
No,
and
it made
tear
me
shit up?
like it made me really sad, and it made me realize like how hard it is. Like sometimes love just isn't enough, and that's so true. I'm a big romantic at heart. Like I really believe that like everyone has their one soulmate, that person that is your best friend, and they're really meant there to like go through life with you as your partner.
And Cupid just didn't get her. Sorry, Cupid. That's why you're going back into the loony bin. But anyways, my shout, I'm giving major shout outs to Amy Gumenick, however your last name
Gumenick?
is pronounced. Gumenick.
Gumenick.
Apologies massively to butchering your
I don't
last
know.
name, but props to you. You did an absolute brilliant job as Cupid, so thank you very much, Amy. Right, we're going to move this on a little bit now. Laurel Lance in court.
I'm
God.
so happy.
Oh, you're
We
kidding
finally
me.
saw her
We
game.
Okay,
totally
at the
are.
end.
I'm a
Okay,
lawyer.
before we get all the way there, but
Yeah.
the beginning of Laurel Lance in court, it
Yeah.
was like watching a doctor play soccer. Like
What?
that's my point. Like it was completely. I thought she did a terrible job in
You
the
thought?
beginning
I
of
thought
it.
she did a great job.
And nothing went right for her.
Yeah,
First
but
of all,
nothing-
Biggle, worst witness possible, because obviously she didn't think, well, she never knew about the whole time that he bought Thea $75,000 worth of cocaine. Yeah, that's going to hold up great in a court of law, right?
But what other options did she have? She was using. She was trying to do everything she could.
I feel you.
thought she was doing a great job. She was using, the resources that she had at the moment to get the conviction, and she did in the end. Or I guess the trial.
To be fair to the character, it was like such a sham, the whole court scene.
Yeah.
So I feel like the actress was working with what she had because all the evidence that they presented was such malarkey. Like it would never hold up in court.
In a real
You can't
court.
say, oh, I can show you the affidavit, so bring it. Like you don't get
Right,
to
right.
just
Yeah.
say like you have one and then you have to prove the validity of the person that's saying it because they're not under oath. So it could be a false affidavit. It could have been done under the dress and then they have to throw it out. Like there's so many things
Right.
on my
Well,
friends.
and there's also discovery, which I know a little bit of court litigation stuff, but
You
it
know more
basically
than me, so don't worry about
so
it.
the discovery means that if someone else has information that they're going to bring to court, the other side has to know about it as well.
Yeah.
So anything that they would have had already to bring to court, the other side would have already had a chance to figure out how they were going to address it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how court works, does it? So you don't get to like, boom, surprise.
Right,
like,
Yeah, you have
I've
to-
got
Yeah,
this
it's-
dark card.
Yeah.
No.
The dark horse, should I say? Last card, dark horse.
No,
I'm
because
mixing two
that's
sentences
how you
together.
get to have a fair hearing because then the plaintiff and the defendant can have accurate rebuttals of both of their evidence that's
Yeah.
presented. The only time that evidence is ever submitted is if it's like submitted through like the police or a forensic lab and they bring the conclusive results and they open them in court because it's literally so top secret they're worried that if people know in advance they'll sham it somehow, so then they open it in court. But really that's the only time, otherwise you always know. So in defense of Laurel Lance, Laurel,
Yeah.
great job. I thought the actress did a great job.
I need to watch some more Judge
Yeah.
Judy to pick up on my court law and
Law-
everything.
Law and Order.
Law and
There
Order.
you go.
Law and Order. Jesse
Yeah,
O'Mine
like
giving you a
that.
shout out there. But Damien was way too smug the whole way through that. I feel
Yes.
like he had a
Yeah.
back ending. This place, Markovia, like this whole backstory that he had. I'm like, come on, the guy's clever, but that was impressive.
And the whole time he was sitting in court, like they were saying all the things that he was doing, and he was just
He
like,
just sat there
"Yep,
like, yeah, and what?
Yeah, yeah,
his
just a little
lawyer-
smirk,
did
like,
that."
Do you think his
Did
lawyer
that.
actually knows? Because the one thing I would know is that lawyers pretty much have to know everything about you so that they can help you to their best ability.
I
Do
don't
you
know.
think his
A lot
lawyer
of people
knew?
lie to their lawyers, but I think his lawyer knows because I feel like he owns the town. I mean, he owns the city. Look at what happened at the end. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
Like,
we
I feel
got-
like
yeah.
there's a lot of dirty
Right.
cops. There's a lot of dirty lawyers, judges. So it doesn't matter really what happened in that court. Team Arrow was set up to lose from the very beginning.
But they didn't lose. Thanks to who? Mr. Captain Lance.
Yeah.
And Captain Lance, such a sweetheart.
He fell on
from
his sword.
the beginning, didn't
He
he?
did. He
He's
quite,
the
yeah,
best.
he definitely did.
All for his little daughter, eh? All for his baby girl. See, that is what a real father does. And there's just that is this relationship that Captain Lance and Laurel actually have, the way they seriously do love each other that much. Just I'm gonna throw this to Flash real quick as well, just because you're on that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
The Jesse and Wells kind of relationship.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is the kind of relationship that truly represents like a father and daughter, and his love for her and her love for him.
But the difference there is that Wells always put his work before his daughter. That's how she felt growing up. But Laurel and Sarah never felt that way. And Captain Lance has made it very clear, I love my baby girls from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning. He's
guess
like,
that's
I
fair.
love them. Whereas like I feel like Wells started to show that
And he had the
after
bad guy
Jesse
before as
was
well.
Right.
captured, and he was like, oh my God, where did I go wrong? I love her so much. I didn't give her enough time.
That's fair, that makes sense.
Whereas like Lance has always been like, you are first and foremost forever, and that's like dad number one.
Yeah.
So with his what is it called when he did his speech, like when he was held up on
The testimony?
the testimony. Thank you very much. So his testimony.
I was like in the box.
That's what I'm saying.
We're doing a game straight. So we figured it out.
So with Lance's testimony, we obviously got what Dark put away,
Yeah.
and what did he get? Dark held without bail, which is obviously a good sign because Dark apparently has buckets and buckets and buckets of money, and he had no chance of release until the trial.
Yeah,
So we've got
which is
Dark in
good.
jail at the moment. However, he's got his ring back.
What?
Amulet,
No.
yeah.
Your first shout was that he possibly has an amulet on his.
That's my guess.
Some kind, or even a part of his statue that he did have. Maybe
Yeah.
he got a
Maybe
bit
like
taken off.
something ingrained in the crystal
that
or
he has his
something. Because
powers
he
back.
seemed pretty smirking. He was like,
And
Yeah.
he seemed pretty happy
I know what
about
I'm
it.
doing now.
No, not the best. Anyways,
about that one. Oh, we'll get a meme or something.
so guys, what do you think is
Great.
going to be happening with Damien now? Do we think he's going to be? Do we think he's going to be able to control guards with his mind powers again? Do we think he's going to be able to start killing people from like a different country again? How do we think Dark's powers are going to develop? And do we think that's what that ring was? Feel free to let us know using the hashtag #TheArrowAfterShow. Right.
Stormy made a good. Stormy, hey, I see you on the group chat. She made a funny point. She said, I prefer Laurel as a lawyer than as the Black Canary. Sorry.
So mean.
She did a good job.
As Black Canary or
No,
a lawyer?
as the lawyer.
I
But
definitely
she's been
wouldn't want
doing
her
such
being
a
my
good
lawyer.
job
I'm
as
just gonna
Black
say that.
Canary. I'm gonna defend her.
Yeah.
This season has been her season.
You're Laurel's lawyer.
She's been doing such a good job. She's finally had an effective canary cry. She's been kicking butt. She's been taken
One.
down twice.
Oh, sorry, twice.
Twice.
In season 4.
This is
We're in season 4. She's had
this
2
is
effective
more
canary
than
cries.
this poor character has ever been given. So I'm very proud of Laurel, and I am rooting for her to have better action sequences.
She will.
Or she'll end up like Thea.
So we're going on to Team Laurel. Okay, our funniest part of the episode, guys. Feel free to let us know what your funniest part. Because obviously in Arrow, there's very rarely funny scenes.
Yeah,
But
that's
our funniest part, we hate to say it, was when Thea was actually on the back of the limo, and then Cupid drove it into the barn or the warehouse, and Laurel just boom straight off the top of it. I was cracking up, and so were these guys as well. It was absolutely hilarious. So guys, make sure you let us know. For once, what was the funniest part of the Arrow
once.
episode
That
for
never
you today?
happened.
I felt like that needed like a
that
Touch
hashtag.
0.0 video redemption.
Yeah, they needed a video.
I was just like, oh man, that looked so painful. Let's do that again, one more time.
Well, I want somebody to slow it down and remix it. So it's like, doosh, doosh, doosh.
Oh, the GIF is coming now.
Oh, it's coming, it's coming.
Somebody
Yeah.
knows that
Song,
for us.
that song's
Right, let's move that on now. Let's wrap things up with the Laurel Lance. Thank God for Laurel finally doing a good job as a lawyer, finally actually seeing her as a lawyer as
Yeah.
well, and taking down Dark, but not for good. But obviously, the one heartbreaking moment and the whole arc of this episode was Olicity, and is it down the drain? Are we done with Oliver and Felicity?
Here are my thoughts. I don't think it's over. I think that he's gonna really try. He's gonna do everything he can to prove to her that he's not gonna lie to her anymore. But you know
Those
what?
vows, though, the
But
way
I
they.
think she's doing the right thing. You know, she needs to stand up for herself. He lied. He did lie to her, and I feel like
Remember that time she lied to him, though, when him and her were on their vacation?
this
They
is
were
a
meant
bigger.
to.
This is a bigger
Okay.
lie, Jack.
Okay.
It's a bigger lie, and I feel like if she's gonna have any confidence in this relationship moving forward, then she needs to have full trust in her husband. You know?
I'm going to say something. I think that we're going to see them back together after
Yes.
the death. Because I feel like the death is going to make her reevaluate her stance and
Yeah,
her decisions
maybe.
and how she feels about things. And death always brings out kind of like people's afterthoughts. Like, am I really doing this for the right reasons? Am I angry for the right reason? I mean, what do you guys think? You think she's going to come around after the death and that's what's going to take to get them back together?
Well, the only thing that gets me is the way that Felicity kind of spoke to Cupid about love and what love was, and the way she was telling him, she's like, "How is love dead? Like, we had thousands of what are they called? Paparazzi people outside waiting to see us." And I mean, that conversation between the two of them. For starters, Stephen made me want to marry him when he did his vows before
yeah.
to her. Like, I
Me
was
too,
ready to
Jack,
drop
me
down
too.
on one knee and propose to him, like 100%. But then that moment as well between the two of them, I thought they were actually going to take that as a bit of a realization, Stephen. Realization, Felicity. Oh my
Yeah.
God, we're both in love.
She just needs more time. I think
It's gonna be the death.
she just needs more time to think about stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it was a great way the way they did it because it wasn't a cop out. It wasn't like, all right, we're gonna bring them together right
Yeah,
away.
exactly.
Also, it's like tune in for season 5 when other
When
things
we
happen.
start building more and we
Things
have
get
the whole
rebuilt.
season of a
But it was also a
relationship.
shot of kind of real life because it's not like usually a movie making where like you come together right away after you just broke up.
Yeah.
It's it
The
does take
building, the
time.
It does take
rebuilding, the
time. Yeah.
refoundation.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, that it's possibly going to be the death that maybe brings them back together. Our last thing before we throw it to the break, after today's episode, after our return, you guys have got literally 3 seconds each to tell me who you think's in the grave. Rory,
I'm gonna say Lance.
I've stopped.
you just stopped now?
I've stopped.
I feel you. But after that episode, I'm on Lance because Dark definitely wasn't happy that Captain Lance pretty much committed him, what's the word I'm looking for? Indicted himself
Yeah.
into jail so that he
Yeah.
could get put away. So I've got a feeling that Dark's going to be the one to do it now.
Yeah,
What's
Lance,
your final lock-in?
Lance for sure, I think.
Guys, feel free to hit us up now quickly whilst we're going through the break. We want to know what you think. You've got us on YouTube, you've got us on Facebook, you've got us on Twitter, you've got us on the lot. Use the hashtag #ArrowAfterShow. We're going to be back in about a minute, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few.
Just in case you missed it live.
In case you missed it live. In case you missed it live.
Oh, you'd want to take the time travel the whole way back.
Oh my God.
We had a crazy vampire threesome.
And you can't unsee that. That's burned into my brain now.
I was like, how did you get here? No. What do you mean? I'm dancing.
You know why we saying yes. You know why we saying yes.
He was like, yeah, I'll tell you whatever you want.
He is quite something.
We're like, inseparable. She was shadier than Sunglass Hut with Ray-Bans on sale, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it wasn't. So come on.
You just went to a totally different direction on that.
When a billionaire goes broke, it means he's got like $4 million.
Hold the phone,
Hold on.
bro.
I found her to be deliciously out of control.
Oh man, looking forward to this fight.
Ooh, they about to get together. Watch, it's about to go down.
Somebody better take some pictures of this.
She just slapped the crap out of Nick.
And he's just
It's so good.
You can't count anything out.
Look at you.
It's been another awesome night at the Stream.tv,
It's always
guys.
awesome.
Thank you for joining us, you guys.
Yes.
We love you.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Arrow After Show. Thank you very much for joining us. And just a quick shout out again to my hat, Oliver Queen
the
for
best
Mayor
hat.
2016.
Love that
because
hat.
we don't see him running for mayor anymore, and now nobody's running for mayor because Rouve's no longer
Yeah,
running for mayor,
like, what
right? So who's
happened
going to
with
be the
that?
mayor of Star City?
They need a mayor, you guys.
They need a
They
mayor.
need a mayor.
We need a mayor.
We need, I don't sound
I know you don't. I'm sorry. It's just my terrible American accent that I tried to
not
do.
very good.
But guys, before we give a shout out, before we start showing once again some awesome fan art from Stevenson Johnson, before we hit the Twitter questions, we just got to give our Facebook groups a little bit of love, a little bit of a shout out. And Lance, I apologise for missing you yesterday on the Flash, but I'm going to hit you hard today with the Arrow after the Arrow Cave, Arrow discussing the TV show. Guys, look at the amount of members this group has. If you want anything Arrow, you go to that group and you get to chat with us. You get to chat with 10,100, and 78 other members besides us four.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot of people to go talk about all things Arrow. And you get rumors, you get pictures, you get all different types of
Everything.
things. It's honestly, guys, it's one of the best communities that you can join. And if you want to see, if you want some Olicity back in action, you're about to say something. Can I finish this and then we'll go? If you want some Olicity back in action, guys, you can follow the Oliver Queen and Felicity Smoke community. Like we said, this is literally like their vacation. And the
so
3
cute.
weeks that we were off, I was like trolling this Facebook page because it made me happy inside. And no word of a lie, literally. I was going through, I was like, oh, they're still happy. They're still happy.
but they're not.
Love is dead. Love is
Right?
dead.
You know what I'm saying? Love is sorry.
They're destroyed right now.
Anti-Cupid.
I'm just saying.
Jeez.
I'll back up on
Just
that.
saying.
Guys, of course, and if if you want your fan art showed, your comments shown, your theories showed, anything that you guys want to appear on the Arrow After Show with us that we can talk about, we can discuss, make sure you follow the Arrow After Show Arrowheads family, because we are a family of arrowheads. Our heads may be circled, but they're in the shapes of arrows. Our hearts are in the shapes of arrows. Tell me that wasn't cute. Come
that
on,
was
I tried
the
my
coolest
best
opening.
there. To what?
When you said the hearts, the like
Oh,
spade
the
of
spade.
hearts.
Yeah. And the
The
opening to this
opening?
episode,
Yeah,
the way it's
loved
changed.
it.
That was cool.
See, I meant that.
No, you didn't.
You know what? You reminded me of it, so high five. We're here. It's okay.
See, and that wasn't malicious that time, right?
I
See,
know,
this is love.
you
This is
love.
love.
I think it's 'cause you're
love
not
is
sitting
not
right here.
dead, okay? This episode has made Carolina and I love each other again.
For once.
Guys, check out some awesome fan art real quick of Stevenson Johns at Stevenson Johns Ones. You guys can find him on Twitter. But this is him as Cupid until death do us part. This
He
guy,
drew that just for this episode.
He's
It's
so
pretty awesome.
he draws
really good.
everything just
Yeah.
for the episode, just for that specific episode. And guys, if not, he doesn't draw stuff just off the top of his head. You can actually go and ask him if you want something drawn of yourself. You can then get that drawn by him,
Yeah.
hand drawn specifically for you, a one-of-a-kind thing that nobody else is ever going to have in the world. And you can get that printed on a mug. Mug it up.
Mug.
You
Yeah.
can get that put on a T-shirt. You can get it put on a
He
canvas.
is trying to take my little hashtag line from Flash so bad. And
Oh,
these
yeah,
poor
100%.
people that
It's
don't
great.
watch
I love
Flash
it.
are like, what is wrong with Jack?
You can get it on a mug. You can get these these pictures printed on a mug. You can get them printed on all different kinds of things. So make sure you go and check out www.artpal.com.
Yeah.
So the backstory for people that don't watch all the shows, my best friend Tatiana does Legends, and she has a mug, and I said it was awesome, and I was like, you need to go to ArtPal, buy one, and you can mug it up. And that's where it comes from.
Because it's gangster.
I'm still waiting for the eating ain't cheating.
No, let's
That was an
let's
accident,
no,
okay?
don't bring
The
that
Americans
up.
have
Let that
different
one go.
processes on that one. Am I throwing it to you now, Olivia? You got some live
I
questions,
do.
sweetie?
I have some Twitter questions.
Take it
so
away.
the first one is from Justin Reese 24. Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Justin. How do you guys feel about Laurel calling the shots with the team at the courthouse today? And I thought it was great. I love
Laurel calling the shots with the team, as in with her being
Yeah, with
the
her
lawyer.
being a lawyer, and also kind of like Roy was saying outside in the huddle when they were all talking, it was kind of interesting how nobody said anything.
Right. Yeah. No, there's no reporters or anything. It's just like, oh hey,
They had
we're
that
out
1
here.
minute of privacy.
Yeah, it's like
Well, surely
they didn't
reporters
start.
aren't allowed into a court, right?
Well,
Or
no,
into
but
a
they were already
courtroom.
outside the courtroom.
But
So
outside.
it was
No,
when the group of them were outside talking about
Yeah.
So
what they were gonna
paparazzi
do.
can actually make it into the court hall. Because
Yeah,
I
They
don't
can be in the
Yeah,
halls,
can't.
but they can't be inside like
Not in the court.
Paparazzi
I
can't,
don't
but
think they get past the
official
front door.
journalists
Official
can.
journalists,
yeah,
Like
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
part of the AP, yes, you have access.
What's the AP for the people out there that may not know?
Associated Press.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's like the worldwide news press that takes images so that people in Dubai and London and wherever have access to buying them and using these like semi-stock photos to tell the story, and you can pick between the different photos. So those photographers have access.
Interesting. Cool.
Okay.
Well, there's a little fact that I did not know, so maybe some of you guys didn't know either. Olivia,
fact.
question number 2.
Next question. This is from Abir. Hi, Abir. Do you think Felicity is handling this breakup too quickly, and that's putting Oliver through so much pain? What do you think?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you see those memes on Facebook all the time. You look like you're really about to
No,
say
no, no,
something,
go
but I'm
ahead.
going to steal it from you
Steal it.
real quick.
Take it.
It's like girls mourn really severely for like the first 3 days, and guys are like, yay, really happy for 3 days. And then after a week, girls are starting to get over it. After a week, guys are starting to get a little bit insecure and a little bit hurt by it. After a month, girls are like, yay, I'm free. After a month, guys are like,
what
I miss her so much.
Is that actually a thing?
It totally is.
It's
Yeah. I
not
had no
totally
idea.
a thing.
Yeah.
I've definitely gone through it once or twice before.
Wow.
But it's not, I'm not saying that's,
That's
a
why
solidified
women
way
get
of
the
life.
phone call 6 months later. Hey.
Oh, hey, babe, how you doing?
I
Or
think
they
I
see a
left
photo
my
of you on
bobby pin at
Facebook.
your house.
To answer your question, Abir, no, I don't think she was being too harsh. I think she was standing her ground. And I feel like if she wasn't 100% certain if she wasn't 100% certain, Jack, she shouldn't have gone back into the relationship and accepted him
She shouldn't
back.
be part of the team still then.
She's not. She
Well,
left the
yeah,
team.
I know that now, but I'm saying like for
She
that
left the
part
team.
of it, she shouldn't have been that much. How's that going to be with her leaving the team?
I don't know.
It's gonna be hard for them.
There's, you know what I'm
She's
She's
saying?
got
like-
real
yeah.
eyes and ears.
Am I
like-
closing that there, or have you got
Oh,
one more
no,
question
sorry,
for
one
us real
more.
quick? You're
Okay.
fine, you're fine.
So this one is from
Overwatch,
Elbs Laura. Do you believe that Will come back to the team, or will come back ever?
I
Do
don't
we
know.
want to see the sun?
I don't think so.
It's just too many complications
I
right
think,
now.
I think we
want
closed it
Arsenal
when
to
he
come
sent
back.
that video saying like,
Yeah.
you know, I think
Yeah.
I think that put it in the grave.
Well, there you go. We'll take that question. We'll follow it around. Like you said, you want Arsenal to come back. Guys as well, back home, guys and girls. Who do you want to see back on Arrow that we have seen so far? Maybe even another villain that we have seen previously, such as
Yeah.
Cupid. Maybe the Calculator's going to return. Who knows? Guys, use the hashtag Arrow After Show. Feel free to let us know. You got us live on the YouTube chat. You got us on the Twitter questions. Have we got anybody on YouTube? You want to give a couple live YouTube shout-outs?
I have a couple questions.
Go for it. Go for it. Kill it.
So first of all, Abir Hashem, honey, what show are you watching? Like, are we watching the same show? Because you go, I thought, and this is talking about Damien Dark, I thought he was being sentimental to his wife by wearing the ring. Are we?
No.
Do you think that Damien Dark has sentimentality?
He is
Guys,
zero.
take it away.
Yeah, Dark is definitely not one I would say is very sentimental. I think he's just menacing. Like, I don't think he really cares too much. I think he does care for his wife, but I don't think so much to the part where he's gonna be like, oh, you know, I love you, and I'm gonna put on the
His
ring.
wife cares if he wears that ring?
I don't think she does.
A beer! Thank you, you just redeemed yourself.
Oh, did he?
Carolina, don't you think that Felicity should be using the advice she gave her mum when Quinton was lying with Mama Smoke?
Yes.
Mic dropped. See you later.
BB's
That is it from the Arrow After Show. Thank you very much, Abir. Thank you, Rory, Carolina, myself, and Olivia, and Abir back home. You absolute lad. You couldn't have said it better. Ryan, take it away, buddy. Thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Okay, guys.